Good morning and welcome to Science Magazine program. Startup India is a flagship initiative of the Government of India to promote innovation and entrepreneurship aimed at economic growth and job creation. Listen to this interview on the topic The Startup Ecosystem, Government Policy, Initiatives and Challenges. The expert is Mr. Rachit Chawla, a successful entrepreneur, founder and CEO of Finway Accelerator. Interviewer is Lucy Gabriel.
Hello friends, today we have with us Mr. Rachit Chawla, an advisor and seasoned entrepreneur on startup. I'm sure all of you must be very curious to know how to do a startup and how to start and how to invest and how the funding comes in and what is the strategy behind it, etc., etc. So today we have Mr. Rachit Chawla here with us who is going to guide us through. So sit with your paper and pencil also if required. Do take down your notes on this too. Welcome to All India Radio. Rachit, how did you really come into this? First of all, tell me, how did this conception of starting a startup come into your mind?
So thank you so much for having me here. How did this come up? It was never a startup. It was more about following my passion. So I belong to a family which is into logistics run business. So being the only son, I joined the logistics company first, and 5 years down the line, I was able to automate it. And from there, I thought there are way more opportunities in tech space than what I'm doing right now. Also, with the land prices becoming too expensive, the return on capital employed in logistics was way less as compared to the other businesses. So I launched my own digital lending fintech company called Finway. And that's how in 2017, the journey started. RBI was kind enough to give us the license to do lending. And the main notion was I saw a huge gap between the high credit worthiness people who were taking and getting loans at very, very less rate of interest vis-a-vis people who want to do something with their lives, but they are not that credit worthy. They were being really exploited by, banks and by NBFCs who were charging very high rate of interest on the capital they were lending. So I saw a huge gap, and my tagline of the company used to be empowering people financially. And that's how the idea was born. That's how we started that, this is a great business. We've got the license and we can not only lend to people, but if we lend at a decent rate of interest, which is a win-win for my customers and for myself, I think we'll create a beautiful company out of it. I was very passionate about finance. It was passion come business acumen shaping this company. And of course, it turned out to be a great initiative and a profitable one. And that's how we ventured into other businesses within 3 years of the successful launch of Finway.
Tell me one thing, while stepping into this particular journey, did you go through any kind of a qualification, that any degree that empower you to, launch yourself and do things like this?
Yes. So my background was always in finance. In fact, right from 11th standard, I studied from Delhi Public School, Mathura Road. I was the accounts topper. So I had a knack of reading balance sheets. I topped my accountancy in 12th standard across India. So I was the only person to actually secure 100 on 100 marks. So I think that shaped the future. Then I went to London to pursue my degree. And also again, majority I did in finance. So I think my love for finance was always there from the very beginning. And definitely that's where the passion comes from. And I thought it was a great booming sector and everything added up.
Suppose a person does not have a finance background. Can they start a startup?
These days, with the technology handy, there is so much information available across channels. It is unbelievable. There is no skill which you cannot learn at this point of age, because there is websites like YouTube, there's ChatGPT, whatever you want to do in life. I think you don't even need a lot of money or deep pockets. You can learn everything online. You just have to be persistent and dedicated. There is no skill left which one cannot learn about. I feel everything is learnable at this age of technology.
I would like to know, what is your story behind
the startups?
Yes.
So my story is very simple. I wanted to create something beautiful for myself, which makes me happy. I wanted a business which gives me a lot of pride and happiness. And there are days when I used to be in my logistics company when I wasn't jumping out of bed, when going to office seemed a bit difficult getting up. But then I thought maybe this is not for me. So I want to get into something which I'm very passionate about, which I love, maybe have a purpose in life so that I wake up doing everything what I love doing and I'm not forced into doing something just for the sake of earning bread and butter. So that's how I ended doing this startup. And I think life has been great after that. I wake up early in the morning. I am working till late. Challenges do not seem challenges anymore. It seems like, how quickly you get up and change the challenge to an opportunity. It wasn't the same. So imagine if you're stuck into a job and you are just doing it for the sake of money. Sometimes you will burn out. And if you're doing something you love, you will never burn out. That's the beauty about it, because you're going to enjoy everything. Even a challenge comes your way, you're going to really convert it into an opportunity. So that's the story behind my digital lending fintech startup, or my stock advisory business, which is Multify, or the accelerator program that we have started, Finway Accelerator, because we are heavily funding startups. We provide them the entire ecosystem. We love talking to the founders, their ideas, their energy. So I think, yes, I am in a way better space right now, which I was few years ago.
How does this funding of startups really go about?
So you have an idea, and doesn't matter if you are at a pre-revenue stage or a post-revenue stage. There are various incentives by the government, not just at the center level, but also at the state level. Also, there are a lot of accelerator incubators these days, right from colleges to private companies like us, who not only gives you capital, but they actually give you the right kind of ecosystem support. When I say ecosystem support, maybe you are a founder and you feel that there's a market for the problem that you're trying to solve. But we as accelerator get a lot of data. We invest a lot of money in ground level data, so we know what works, what not. And if that startup idea or the founder comes to us, we give them a platform wherein they can actually validate the idea even before working towards it. Because if you're working towards it and you are not very sure about the data or the how big the market is, or what are the compliances that you need to take approval of before starting it, you may get stuck. So that is where companies like us help them. Government also is working very proactively to sort of guide them, help them, ensuring that their transition or business gets into moving very quickly. And just to add to that, I meet founders who have brilliant ideas, but they do not know about the compliances which they need to get in place. Very recently, I spoke to a founder who was actually kind of doing an AI wealth management without having a SEBI license. So I told him, look, you'll do very well, undoubtedly. But some way down the line, your business will get shut. Why? Because you don't have the license. And he was not even aware about the compliance requirements. So we help very early on to handhold them and to help them out so that they don't get stuck in future. We also give mentorship program to support them so that they get a flying start from the beginning.
So it is an holistic approach that you keep, and step by step you are literally hand-holding and taking them ahead, right?
Yes.
Okay, what about the government policies on startups and the government incentives?
So I think the hub to go to place is startupindia.gov.in. You get a lot of information about government policies. Of course, they keep on changing from time to time, but they are giving a lot of benefits to startups. They also have their own incubator center. They also have certain monetary schemes for the startups. So I think any founder who wants to do something in this space, they should definitely visit the website and see which category is fitting to them. There are fixed cost reimbursements as well, which the government is offering. This I'm talking about the central government. Similarly, every state also has come up with their own incentives and own plans. Everything is easily available online, and these days, AI is making life easy, so they can also ask AI to do the homework whichever place they are in, and they can then go to the nearest center and get themselves into action.
How do you think that a startup is taking shape as an industry, and how do they land up becoming a unicorn or something like that?
So unicorn is really a company which is valued at more than $1 billion, which is right now, if we feel 86 is the US currency rate, then $8,600. 8,600 crores. So 8,600 crores makes you unicorn. But I feel one business business shouldn't be started to be a unicorn, because unicorn is not something you can plan and then start. It's not that easy. Your business has to be really lucrative. Your execution needs to be flawless. You need to have the right team, the right technology, the right compliance in place. Only then there's a probability. But if you see, there are 100 odd unicorns in India since many years. That shows a population of 140 crores wherein so many startups were born. Still very handful, very few unicorns. So I feel you should actually start a business from a standpoint of solving a problem, not becoming a unicorn. Because when your goal is only to become a unicorn, then somewhere down the line you might get stuck. I feel sustainability is the key to success if you're starting a startup. So focus on sustainability, focus on customer satisfaction, focus on creating a sustainable business which keeps on going on rather than focusing on unicorn.
And how about talking about a few challenges and overcoming such challenges?
So when you love what you do, I feel challenges to begin with won't seem like challenges. You would be very quick to convert it into opportunities. Also, in any field, any startup, there will be challenges. It's how flexible, how quick you are to able to pivot it. I have invested in a lot of companies in the past wherein the founder had one attitude, which was persistence. No matter what, the founder kept on getting failed and immediately kept on standing up back on their feet. That means that no matter which challenge comes his way, he's going to bounce back. You don't have to be emotional about your business, because if the ground reality is telling you that you are doing something horribly wrong, as a founder, it is your duty to pivot your business model immediately. A lot of founders make a mistake that they feel, okay, it's a challenge, but things will become okay very soon. That shouldn't be the attitude. As a founder, it is your duty to be always flexible to pivot your business idea. Your focus has to be on creating valuation for everybody around in your ecosystem. Only then you'll be able to succeed. Now, I'll talk about an example where I invested in a company which had a totally different idea, but they ended up being a publishing house. Now they are very successful in their field. They have recently got funded from Shark Tank India as well, and a huge valuation. I wouldn't say that they are wrong in changing their business idea. It's just that the founder wanted to exist for long, so they pivoted their business idea. Now they are very successful. So you shouldn't get emotional about the business. You should be very quickly able to pivot it.
What is your advice for the new startups coming up and for the young generation?
The biggest advice that I give to founders is do not do anything which you are doing only for the sake of earning money. It would be very, I don't want to use a wrong word, but it's not going to be right if they are only doing the startup to earn money, because there is so much capital in the world any which way. You better solve a problem so that you attract that capital, because if you only one thing you are focusing on is to earn money, it's going to be a very challenging job and the chances of being successful is going to be negligible. So go for passion, go for solving real problems, and then let money or the profits be a beautiful outcome of that journey rather than starting the journey by one mindset.
Wonderful. Well, I'm sure all our friends across the globe have heard this and will think of their new startups and get a good advice from Dr. Ranjit Chawla. Thank you very much for being here with us and enlightening us on these startup stories. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Narrated by Neelam Malkania and produced by Dilip Jha. This broadcast came to you from Indraprasth channel of Akashvani, Delhi.
आकाशवाणी प्रस्तुत करता है भारतीय संगीत की शाश्वत परंपरा को समर्पित आकाशवाणी संगीत सम्मेलन,
जहां बांसुरी के मधुर धुन के साथ प्रस्तुति होगी सुप्रसिद्ध बांसुरी वादक पंडित राकेश चौरसिया की। साथ ही लोक जीवन की मिट्टी से जुड़ी मराठी लोक संगीत की सजीव प्रस्तुति देंगे जनप्रिय कलाकार नंदेश उमप। तो अवश्य हिस्सा बने राग वाद्य और सुरों की इस अनुपम यात्रा का। 2 नवंबर 2025 शाम 5 बजे रंग भवन सभागार, आकाशवाणी संसद मार्ग, नई दिल्ली में।
संस्कृति, गौरव और परंपरा का प्रवाह, आकाशवाणी संगीत सम्मेलन 2025।